So, this is a recording of Tony and Jack. What's the date, Tony? It's March the 29th, I think, isn't it? Sunday? March the 29th? 2015. So, this is a recording. Jack and a resource for your source, and Tony, who is a source, right? Tony, you're a source. So, Tony's a source. And we were talking about, we started on this conversation about home education. We were talking about John Holt, who is an American education, is dead now. And Tony was listening to John, a recording many, many years ago on about unschooling or homeschooling, unschooling. But generally, just talking about how I think you're far better off to not put your children into a public government school or even a private school. Most private schools too. Why? Because they just get brainwashed. And I was explaining to Tony the title of John Taylor Gatto's works on trying to clear people's minds in the world about compulsory education, how it came about from around 1807 in Prussia, part of Germany back then, what is Germany now, and why schools came to be. And I was telling Tony that, well, it's brainwashing. This compulsory schooling from the time you're, 7 years old until you graduate from high school. The governments around the world put these into place around the 1800s in order to control the minds of their citizens. Right, Tony? I told you about that? Mm-hmm. And I told Tony about one of the titles of John Gatto's books, which is Weapons of Mass Instruction, and how it was a pun playing upon the word that would usually be weapons of mass destruction. And I explained why Gatto chose that specific word of instruction rather than the usual word destruction, because in fact instruction or compulsory education is a weapon, and it destroys minds so that they can be controlled by the government to be good. What I was explaining to Tony Sheeple, I was saying that, to me, a good way of looking at the whole world with compulsory schooling is that there are three kinds of human beings on the earth, or three kinds of people. One is, I call the sheeple, which is the mass. Maybe 98% of the people in the world are sheep, meaning they are just animals that follow orders. They go to school and they're taught what to do, and they are taught by whom? They're taught by the wolves. We call the wolves. Maybe only 1.5% of the world, maybe slightly, almost 2%, let's say, roughly speaking. These are the leaders: Mao Zedong, Hitler, Obama, George Bush, Xi Jinping, all of the ones today and all in the past. These are the ones that feed on the sheep. They eat them. They send them to wars to die for them. They, like a farmer, people are farmed, they're raised to feed these wolves. This tiny 2% of the elite, the power elite, which are mainly the banksters and the government agents and all the people that work for them, most of the money people and the people with power, political power, these are what I call the wolves. So the huge number of people, the wolves, are in control of the sheep. Right, Tony? You understand that? Do you understand? Okay. And then what's the third one, do you think, Tony? I said there's three kinds of persons in the world. There's the wolves, that the tiny 2% and the 98% of the sheep that are fed upon by the wolves. What's the third kind of person, human being, do you think, Tony?
If you ask me, I would assume, just like you said,
It's what?
Freeman.
Good, yeah, me. I'm one of them. And I call these human beings. I don't think the wolves and I don't think the sheep are human beings. Okay?
You don't think they are human?
No, I'm saying, it's like a metaphor, remember? You say one thing in terms of it. I'm saying there's three kinds of human beings on earth, right? Two kinds are not free. The wolves and the sheep are not free. They need each other. But of course, you really don't want to be a sheep, do you? True? You want to be a wolf. True?
They are all dangerous.
Yeah, wolves are very dangerous, but my point is you don't really want to be a sheep. Most people, if they had a choice, they want to be a leader, right? The poorest person in China today, the sheeple, if they had some chance to be Xi Jinping, that's what they would want, right? They could be power. Have anything they want, have all the beautiful girls, have the beautiful meals, have all the beautiful houses and cars, right? Fly everywhere in the world, they have power and money. So the wolves need the sheep, and of course, they make the sheep think they need the wolves. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
How? How does that work? Explain to me. Why do the sheep need the wolves? We know why the wolves need the sheep, because that's how they get their money. Government makes no money. Government's not productive. They steal from the sheep.
They also need money or some policies open for them. So they still get, with the policy or with the channels, the good resources, they still get money from the wolf.
So you think the sheep get money from the wolves?
Right.
Okay. Well, I'm going to see if I can convince you otherwise of that. Okay. Now, what I'm trying to get you to think about, I'm thinking wolves now in terms of real productivity. Making goods and services is real productivity. Governments don't make anything. They steal only and they destroy only. Think about it. Is that true?
Yeah.
Yeah. They just tax you. They steal from you and they call it tax. Now, here's the thing. Then they teach you sheeple in schools, and this is where the school comes in now, compulsory. They teach you to want to be sheep.
They teach you what?
They teach you to want to be a sheep.
Want to be.
You want to be a sheep. This is why you go to school. This is how they control you. This is why you're not free. You don't even know you're not free. This is the key. Most sheeple don't know they're not free. You understand? And whether the sheeple are in China or whether they're in America, it doesn't matter, or France or anywhere else in the world. Most of them don't know this. That's why they're sheep. So the definition, remember I was telling you, the definition of sheep and the sheeple, the people, is people who are not free and don't even know they're not free. And they are fed upon by the wolves, and they don't even understand that. They do sometimes.
What did you say?
The sheeple are fed upon.
What did it mean?
Eaten. Like when you eat lamb, Tony, you can buy meat called lamb, right? That's when you're eating real lamb, real meat, okay? Those lambs are raised by farmers to make money, and you pay that money to eat lamb, right? Well, metaphorically, the wolves raise you on farms called schools. Compulsory schooling is a farm. They raise you sheep to eat, to go fight wars, to tax, to use, to abuse, not use, but abuse. They abuse you, meaning they use you badly to your detriment.
Detriment?
Detriment means bad, means destructive. They destroy you. You go fight in the army, you go die and kill and murder, and it's all for these few wolves, but you're too stupid to understand it. You don't know. So this is what you can learn, and you don't learn this in a classroom. What I'm trying to get you to understand now, you will never hear in any classroom, in any compulsory school in the world, because the government doesn't want you to know this, do they? Right? This is the point. So the only persons on earth that I call human beings are free. And you can't be free for something until you're free from something. Can you understand that?
Yes.
What's it mean? Tell me.
There's no absolutely concept for being free. You have to do in some ways to take the responsibilities, and you will be free.
Yeah, but I mean, there is an absolute way to be free. But what I'm saying, usually people think I'm free to do something, right? Like I'm free to drive a car. If you have no hands or you have no car, you're not free to drive a car, are you? So I'm saying you have to be free from something that keeps you from being free before you can be free to do something. So, in other words, you have to first earn money to buy a car, then you have to learn how to drive the car. So ignorance is the opposite of freedom. Ignorance. To ignore means to not know something.
Okay.
Ignorance means you don't know.
Okay.
So it's okay not to know something, but if you don't know something and you think you do, then you are a sheep or you're a wolf. You understand?
Yes.
Okay, explain to me what I said.
Hmm?
Explain to me. Explain what I just said. I don't think you understand.
You said something like most people dropping in a big trap, and then they struggled and they are blind. They don't know the system was
and they don't. Yeah, and they don't know. They don't know.
Yeah, they don't know what they really don't know.
Yeah, they're ignorant.
They think they know, but they don't really know.
Exactly.
And the government is trying to control them and to put them in a deep trap. You can
right. Good. Excellent. Yeah. So that's the key. So this is why I say I'm a true educator, because my purpose on earth has always been, but especially in the last say 5 years or so, when I became a resource, a genuine, total resource, because I understand how the wolves work and how the sheep will work, and how this is what we call the human condition. And this is why I say I'm a resource for your source. So I say on that crazy business card that I give you, I say you're only as free as you take the responsibility to be, right? Remember? What's that mean to you? You're only as free as you take the responsibility to be. What's that mean?
That means freedom is not absolutely concept.
No, that's not what it means. No.
It means there's no absolute free in this world.
No, that's not what it means. No.
Yes.
There is absolute. I'm telling you, I wrote the phrase, that's not what I mean, okay? I created the phrase, that's not what I mean. You think it means that. I'm telling you, I don't think it does. That's not what I mean by it, okay? Understand? So, in fact, that phrase, you're only as free as you take the responsibility to be, is exactly what I'm telling you now. It means you cannot be free until you understand how you're not free, which is your responsibility to find out why you're not free. You are not free now, Tony. And I call this, when you get free is when you source yourself. You source yourself.
What do you mean source yourself? It means put all your power, any possibilities to do the job or to achieve
well, sort of, but more. No, what I mean is this, Tony. why I use the word source and resource. I say my whole duty, my whole purpose, I should say, as an educator is to help you source yourself, which means to know yourself.
Mm.
It's Socrates. It's Kongzi.
It's what?
Socrates. You remember?
Socrates.
Socrates. Socrates.
What do you mean? Sacred?
Kongzi, Tony. You know
I know.
Kongzi. Socrates is Kongzi, like Greek Kongzi.
Yeah.
You understand?
Socrates. What's the meaning?
I just told you, but you're not listening. You know who Kongzi is?
Mm-hmm.
Kongzi is a philosopher, right?
Mm-hmm.
Socrates is a philosopher, Greek.
Oh, Socrates. Yeah.
Socrates.
Oh, Socrates. Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard this name. Very famous.
Yeah, that's right. Good.
Just like me, he just very poor and
Yeah.
only focusing on learning and doing the education.
Yeah, but he's not stupid like you. But you're stupid.
Same.
Well, no, because he knew he was ignorant, and you still don't know you're ignorant, but you're learning now, right? You're learning with me. You're learning to source yourself. You're learning you're stupid and ignorant. This is good. This is what Socrates learned. Socrates was wise because he knew he didn't know.
Was he from Greek?
Yeah, he's the ancient Greek guy, about the same. We put him in like Kongzi.
Mm.
So Kongzi, Socrates, then Mengzi, then Plato, then Xunzi, and Aristotle. So the big three philosophers in ancient Greece are Socrates first, then Plato, then Aristotle, and they were each teachers and students of each other. First came Socrates. Plato learned from Socrates. Aristotle learned from Plato. Understand?
Mm-hmm.
So in China, we say, roughly speaking, Kongzi came first, then Mengzi learned from Kongzi, then Xunzi learned from Mengzi. Right? Right? Okay. So the major thing that Socrates brought to the world was that he showed us that we had to first know that we didn't know. That was the first that made us wise, was to know we didn't know. We were brainwashed. Socrates. Yeah.
Socrates.
Yeah. A very famous story back then in ancient Greece. There was I'm trying to think of the word for this, like a special priestess. You know a priest?
Priest?
You know a priest?
Priest is just like an educator.
No, it's a brainwasher.
Brainwasher?
A priest is a brainwasher. Religion's brainwashing.
But Kongzi, from my understanding and my learning from the books, Kongzi is not only the best. Because the Tao.
Okay, yeah, the Tao is good.
It's very good because Tao can accept something really changing. Something will change. Something will have significant changes in a certain time. Laozi. But Kongzi only say the consecutive, the tradition, you should follow this and what's happening. But the Tao can accept much more. What's going to be the significant change?
Yeah, good.
And what time and what, It's like people will grow and do a lot of new things will change their life, not like their parents.
Thank you. I'm glad you mentioned Lao Tzu because I didn't, because I just usually use Kongzi Mengzi just to line up with the Greeks, okay? But Lao Tzu and Chuangzi, these are the Taoists, right? The Taoists. And they're more free in some ways than Kongzi was, and Mengzi and Xunzi. Yeah, more free.
Tao believe people should build up their virtue, just like you. If you can teach people a lot more, like teaching is a value, and people in a certain time, when the time is up, and then something will come back as good to you. It's like it's return naturally. And also it means, yin and yang. Yin and yang.
Right, sure.
Yin, how do you say, speak in English?
Yin yang, yes, that's how we say it.
Yin means
it's the female principle. Yes, and yang is the male principle.
Yeah, yang you can express, you can learn by your side, and then you can learn very just like you can
yin
see.
and yang.
Yin you cannot see.
Yeah.
You cannot see.
Dark.
I mean, dark. Yes. For example, if you see, I am so poor, I don't have food to eat, and you give me food, you give me money. This is young. Even you treat very well to me, I will thank you. I will remember you. This is young because I can understand. You know that what's happening, and I know what you gave me.
Good.
This is very good.
Okay.
But if you help me secretly, and no one knows. Just like a Lei Feng.
That's yin.
It's yin, but it can be returned back in your offspring in many times later.
Okay, stop there because I don't want to get deep into that.
Really good.
Okay, stop there. I understand. Good. I'm glad you understand that. Now let's get back to Socrates. Okay, back to Socrates. Get your mind focused on Socrates. Now, what made Socrates? He was considered the wisest man in Greece in terms of Athens. Do you know Athens, Greece? The city, right? Well, this was the Athens was the showcase, was where Western philosophy, thinking, art, culture came from there. And we often say, philosophy-wise, Socrates was known when he was alive in Athens back in the 400 BC, 2,400 years or so ago, as the wisest man in Greece, right? The priestess, that's what I'm saying, this religious person said, a priest. Listen to me, I already told you this, priest. The priest said out loud to everyone in Athens, oh, Socrates is the wisest man. And Socrates, when he heard this, he says, no, this is stupid. I'm not the wisest man. No way. And so, but the priest said, no, you are. And so Socrates says, well, I think you're crazy, but I'm going to go around and talk to these people that say they're wise. Okay?
What's that?
He went around, Socrates, to talk to people that said they were the wisest, right? Socrates said, no, I'm not the wisest, but I'll go talk to the people that said that they know wisdom. In other words, they know what is, right? So Socrates went and talked to them, and he came away from each of them saying, Jesus, these people don't know. They're not wise at all. And in fact, not only are they not wise, but they're stupid. They're worse than wise. I'm far away underneath. That they're not even near wisdom. They're stupid, in fact. Why? Because what they thought they knew, they really didn't know. Got it? They were ignorant of their ignorance. They didn't know they didn't know. And this causes a whole huge amount of problems. In fact, all of the world's problems are caused by people that think they know something when they don't. It's okay not to know something, then you're not harmful. Because you know you don't know, but the people that think they know something and then act on it end up destroying other people and usually then themselves as well. Let's take Mao, Hitler, Stalin, Xi Jinping today, Obama today, Merkel, any politician on earth, almost. There must be maybe 5 in the world somewhere, maybe. Ron Paul is one of them from America. But almost 99.9999% of politicians are wolves, are thieves, are murderers, are the lowest of the low as far as I'm concerned. Even when the Obamas, even worse. The Xi Jinpings, the Hitlers, the Maos, these are people that destroy other people. Remember, we talked about this? They destroy them.
You are the reactionist, and you don't like this.
They don't like me, though, I know.
They love
but remember, I'm not a reactionist in the sense, I'm not a reactionary, I'm not a revolutionist, right?
Yeah.
What I want to do is to show you your ignorance. I want you to know you're ignorant. I want you to know that Mao...
To be aware.
Yeah, I want you to know that Mao's not good.
You don't know. You should present people with the good evidence.
I can, remember?
No one will believe you.
I know, but this is the point. I
Oh, you
in
think
just
the history will be turned upside down
Sure.
in the future?
Of
Let's
course.
say like 50 years
It's
later.
already turned upside down for
Really?
people like me, Tony, because I know the truth more or less.
Really?
You can get to it. Yes, I told you this. I showed you the biography of Mao. I showed you the Black Book of Communism. We have proof. We have evidence of what I'm saying to you.
But the Chinese don't believe that you are.
Of course they don't. No, they believe in Mao instead because they don't think. They're sheeple. You understand? They're sheeple. They don't think. Sheep. People, sheeple. You understand? This is a pun, again, a play on words. We call sheep sheeple because it rhymes with people. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, just to get back to Socrates. So this is why then Socrates, after talking to all these people and seeing how they thought what they knew, they didn't really know, he says, geez, by default, I must be the wisest because at least I know I don't know. Follow me?
I know I don't know.
Yeah, at least I know I don't know. These people thought they knew, but they really didn't.
But many Chinese wise people, like some author and some literature people, they said the same thing. They said, I know I don't know. Everybody say like that.
Well, that's good then. As long as you know you don't know.
Sometimes I say the same thing. I
Good.
know I don't know.
Well, that's good. That's great. That's my point, though. Ignorance can't, to be aware of your ignorance can't hurt you, right? That's good.
Yeah.
You have to know. I mean, and bringing it back now to compulsory schooling, most people in China and in America and everywhere else in the world, they don't know that it's bad for them and their children. Right? They don't know this.
Yeah.
They think it's good for them. But they don't know. If they really knew what I know, and I'm trying to get you to understand, is they wouldn't put their children into these brainwashing schools. They don't. You don't want to be a sheeple.
I know, but it's not total. Not total. Some schools still teach them skills.
No, that's not the point. Sure, they teach you skills, but the skills don't do you any good in the end, unless you're lucky. They work for the rulers. They work for the wolves. They don't help you sheeple very much. They help you enough to stay alive, and they may make you a millionaire and a billionaire even. But still, you're working to destroy the rest of humanity. Therefore, I don't think you're good.
What's that?
Listen to me. I said there are 3 kinds of people on the earth, right? There's the wolves, maybe 2%. There's the sheep, the masses, 98%. And then there's a tiny, tiny percentage of free human beings like me. Very free and very few. And by definition, I say that's what I mean by sourcing yourself. You become your own authority. You become your own government. You don't need another government. You know what real government is like. They're wolves. They want to eat you alive, Tony. And so you don't let them. You understand. You get free. Anyone could be free. Even when in an unfree world. One of my favorite books by Harry Brown is How I Got Free in an Unfree World. How to live free in an unfree world. Well, I can do this like Harry did and a few other people. These are what I call human beings. I don't consider you a human being until you've sourced yourself, by which I mean you become free, even in an unfree world. Very few people that know me, you see. And so not many people value me because there aren't many free people on earth.
Yeah, what?
There are not many free people on earth. Not many people have sourced themselves. I have. There's not many of us. There's not many of us. And most people don't value what I'm telling you now, Tony. They won't pay me for this. They don't give a shit.
No.
Because they don't want to be free. Because they don't know about it. They want to be sheeple. They want to stay asleep. It's easier. It's lonely when you wake up and you find...
lonely.
Lonely.
It's lonely when you are free.
Yeah. Then you have to work at getting free friends, which is what I try to do with you and others, because I don't want to be lonely. I want to join with other free friends,
Mhm.
but you can't be a free friend until you're free.